Cold War was, and when you think about this as a Cold War, what distinguished it. As I said in the book that you were kind enough to advertise, I identify 5 things that I think epitomize the Cold War as a model, that is, analytical model at its height, say from 1948, the Berlin blockade, till shortly after Stalin's death in 1953. I won't go through all 5, but the first of those was each side then, as now, blames the other side literally wholly for where we are. And it's not just because of the other side's behavior, it is because of, in the minds of each side, the essence or the nature of the other side. That's the way it was when Kennan wrote The Sources of Soviet Conduct. That's the way in which the issue is being framed now. Secondly, on a point that does begin to link to what you said, during that period of time, as now, the issue is not merely that we have conflicts of interest, it is that we have conflicts of purpose. And that was true then, it is true now. And that notion of we have a conflict of purpose means that it's very hard to imagine that there is any substantial common ground. Maybe some limited transactions like the Iran deal, and we'd hope some kind of progress in Syria, but nothing that would transform the relationship. On the other point of, is this really a clash of concepts of world order? I think not. Here I line up in that debate that Foreign Affairs had between Walter Russell Mead and John Eikenberry. I line up with Eikenberry. I don't think either China or Iran or Russia are determined to overthrow the existing international order. They want to change its rules, they want to change its place within it. But Dmitry Trenin, this very bright Russian, had an interesting formulation on what's at stake. For the West, particularly the Europeans, our allies in the United States, Putin is a threat to the European order now. He's determined to undermine the European order. What Trenin said is the Russians' agenda under Putin is overthrowing the post-Cold War order. And that post-Cold War order was the one in which the United States called the shots, formed the coalitions of the willing, conducted a foreign policy using its military power as it chose. That's what Trenin would argue is at stake, but not necessarily overturning the world order. It's overturning U.S. foreign policy.
I actually agree with that. I think that the essence of this is really about who gets to call the shots in this structure. And I think that what Russia is aiming for, and they're not the only power that is trying to do this, is the ability to violate the rules as they see fit if it's in their national interest, which is frankly what they think that the United States does. And I think this is the essence of what Dmitry Trenin and others have been making the point, that the United States reserves the right for itself, in their view, to have a veto right, just as we have at the United Nations Security Council, and where Russia has that enshrined along with China as a member of the P5. So from Russia's point of view, having a world order on a rules perspective that looks more like the UN Security Council is really what would be preferable. And in the case of Europe and the European Security Order, since the Cold War, as Bob has laid out, Russia, overall, this is not just an issue about Putin, but the political class at the top of Russia resent deeply that they're not consulted on any issue that might affect their interests, from Ukraine to the enlargement of NATO, the enlargement of the European Union, and other critical issues.
Steve, you're